Previously, I started decluttering my laundry room, which I should have done a long time ago, and also included the regular maintenance that I do for my washer and dryer. That way it's gonna last longer. And after this, it took me about a week to carefully sort the items from keep, donate, and trash. And today is another chapter for my laundry makeover. Hello everyone, welcome here on my channel, and as always, I am very excited to start with this project. After decluttering this laundry room, finally I get to start with my makeover or whatever plans that I have in this room. But first, let me go ahead and talk about this shelf that's behind me. It has worked its purpose for about a decade now, but unfortunately, it does not work for us. No matter how much I try to organize this area, I even bought those organization bins and some basket, it always end up overflowing and disorganized. So what I will be doing is put a different organization system, but before I can do that, I need to remove this shelf, which I will be doing right now. Looking on this, I think before I can remove the main shelf, I need to remove this wood that is located at the center, which acts as one of the support for the entire system. After removing the shelf, I will be removing the support trim, and also some of the boards that I just removed, I will try to repurpose it at a later time. Next to remove is the base molding, since I will be installing a new flooring here in this laundry room. I don't have the proper tool to remove this base molding. What I'm just using right now is just flat screws, and I think it just worked out just fine. Now, I could have just left the thing that used to support the shelf as well as the base molding and prevent this damage that I created on this wall and call it a day. But this room is only 9 by 6.2 feet wide, which is a very tiny room. And what I want to achieve in this room is to maximize every inch of the space that this room can offer for me, especially on this side of the wall. I am still in the process of thinking what to place or install in this area. But for the meantime, let me go ahead and try fixing the damage that I created on this side. Before patching the walls, I need to remove those extra caulk compound that was left from the shelf system and base molding. I've created some minor damages on the wall which sometimes could not be prevented, and to do this or repair this, I will be applying a drywall joint tape before applying the spackling paste. I like using this spackling paste because once it's dry, it will turn white. So I will just be patching whatever I need to patch, and I will leave this overnight. Now that the spackles are dry, I will be sanding this to create a smooth and even surface before painting the walls. I started sanding behind the washer and dryer. There used to be a shelf on top of those appliances, and I have to step on a stool and stand on the washer dryer before I can reach whatever I place on those shelves, which I feel that it's not practical. So what I did is remove those shelves 2 years ago and thinking of another creative way to use that wall. This is quite a workout. I'm sure my arms are going to be sore tomorrow. Anyways, I have to finish this today. I'm all covered with dust. I want to take a shower, sit down, relax, drink a hot coffee, combine it with a blueberry cake. But before I can rest, I need to vacuum and wipe the walls and appliances with a damp cloth. Finally, I get to enjoy the rest of the night, and while I'm treating myself with cake and coffee, let me show you my inspiration and mood board. My vision is to transform a dreary confined laundry space into a serene Mediterranean-inspired room. A palette of soft neutrals will be paired with clean modern lines and natural textures, creating a bright, cozy atmosphere that defies the lack of window. With budget in mind, I will be starting with the leftover peel-and stick vinyl flooring from my previous project that has a marble look. For accent wall, I am thinking of placing a wallpaper that has all the colors I want to incorporate in the room, or maybe a beaded wall panel above the washer and dryer. In regards to natural texture, I want to add a wood countertop, and for the finishing touches, I will incorporate a wall art, brass antique hardwares, accent light, and maybe an area rug to complete the bright, cozy atmosphere I want to achieve. And lastly, for better functionality, I want to add a storage cabinet in between the washer and dryer as well as on the other wall. Okay, everyone, I am back and well rested, and I just went to the hardware store to get some sample paints based on my mood board. I have few selections. They all look nice at the store, but of course, I want to try them here on my wall. So for my walls as well as a trim, I'm debating between these two white paint. This one is called Alabaster. For me, Alabaster seems to have kind of like a yellow undertone in there, while the pearly white seems to have a grayish undertone. And it's so amazing how white paint came a long time ago. When you buy a white paint, that's it. No decision making. But now they have incorporated different tones on white paint that sometimes for me or for myself, it's kind of hard to make a decision which one to choose. But so far, I chose these two different tones. that I feel that it's going to work in this room. But now that it's on my wall, it seems like I'm leaning towards the alabaster. And for the rest of the paint, I have 5 to choose from. And whatever I pick, it's going to that cabinet doors that I bought from IKEA for a bargain price. So for now, I will just wait for these things to dry, and probably I'll just make a decision by tomorrow. And while I'm in the process of making decision, I will be working on the flooring. I will be installing a peel and stick vinyl tile called Sorrento marble that I bought from Lowe's, and these are the leftover tiles from my previous project. Anyways, I won't go into a detailed instruction on how to install this vinyl tile because I did a video about that last time, and I will try to share the link if you guys are interested and want to watch it. One of the reasons why I bought this roller appliances is because of this laundry makeover. I can push and pull these appliances without any help. Plus, I am not confident to disconnect these machines because my dryer is connected to gas, and of course washer is connected to the water system, and I'm just preventing any unlucky accident. This is one of the steps that I did not did last time. Before, I traced the frame and make a pattern to cut the tile. And this time, I use my oscillating saw to undercut the frame, which I find it much easier. We have a different flooring outside the laundry room, and this one needs a transition flooring. Unfortunately, our old one is not in a good condition. That is why I will be replacing this for a new one. Unfortunately, I was not able to take a video on how I installed this transition flooring. Anyway, I used this all-purpose adhesive glue that I bought from Lowe's, and after that, I just applied the painter's tape on top of the floor until the glue dries up. Next is applying a grout in between the tiles, which is in ivory color. This is one step I did not did from the previous project. What I am doing right now is forcing the grout into the gaps and removing the excess, and also I will be working into small sections. After grouting few tiles, I am just cleaning and removing the excess using a fairly damp sponge. And after that, I'm just wiping it with a dry paper towel, which I think it works best for me. After grouting the entire room, I waited for about 6 hours. And then for the last step, I applied a grout sealer and waited for at least 24 hours for everything to dry. Okay, everyone, it's the next day and the floor grout and sealant is nice and dry, and I already chose my main paint, which is the alabaster. Although I'm still debating a couple of shades for my closet doors, and I did an elimination process yesterday to make my decision much easier. So let me show you what I did. This one is a popular gray. For me, it looks like it has like a pink tone in there, so that's a no-go. And then there's this versatile gray, and it looks like it has a purple tone in there, so definitely not this one. Regarding the accessible beige, I like the color, but when I place my flooring beside the paint, they look matchy. There's no contrast in them. And my flooring has the gray, brown, and white tone, and I want a little bit of contrast. So again, I have to remove that from my choices. Then I have my natural linen, which has a soft shade and subtle contrast between my main walls as well as my flooring. My dilemma on this one is that it's almost the same shade as the old paint that this room used to have. So I am thinking and debating between this one and the Malabar. I'm leaning towards the Malabar as well, because it still has that soft contrast, good combinations with my main paint as well as my flooring. And it's a little shade darker than my old paint that this room has. So I am debating still between Malabar and the natural linen. And again, the paint that I'm using is the Alabaster in Satin Finish by Sherwin-Williams. Regarding the doors, I could have removed it from the hinges and paint it on its own, which I guess it's gonna be much better. But I am just painting one side, and anyways, I started sanding this first before I start painting. For so many reasons, I'm finally taking over this project I've started 2 years ago. I feel that I have accomplished a lot, and yet there are more work that needs to be done until I reach my goal. But at least now, this laundry room looks and feels bright, fresh, and clean. Okay, everyone, I am still covered with paint. I tried removing them, but anyways, in regards to this side of the room, I don't even have to paint that, but that's just me. because my plan is to install an entire storage cabinet for this wall, but I'm still debating between, do I make my own from scratch or do I just buy a prefab cabinet? And I think I have to sit down on that and take in consideration the cost as well as the time frame I want to finish this project. Anyways, after this, I feel that I'm almost halfway finishing this project. So everyone, please join me on my part 3 laundry makeover. So please share, like, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get to be notified whenever I post some videos here on my YouTube channel. And again, thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!